Welcome to the station, crew. Enjoy your stay.
Anomalies have been added to Space Station 14, and they are effectively replacing the passive point generator as the new form of point generation over time. So, artifacts are for big bursts of points, while anomalies will be a constant stream of points, little or either it could be a small amount of points or a large amount of points depending on how dangerous the anomaly is and the fact you have to keep it safe and not explode. The stack of plasma here. And in order to even get an anomaly to generate, you need to come to this big ass thing, the Anomaly Generator. That's a very scary sound. And you just simply put the plasma inside, and you'll see that it's 100% fueled. And simply to generate an anomaly, you just click Generate Anomaly. I'm not going to do this right now, because the way it works is it could spawn anywhere on the station. And since I'm one person, I'd basically have to go running around the whole station. I might not even find it in time by myself. This is definitely a team effort, station-wide effort. The science can easily affect the entire station now, but it is pretty necessary for them to get text for the game and for every other department. So just pretend I generated the anomaly. And for just the absolute most basic learning purposes, I'm going to just spawn the anomaly in this room. Now do the electric one. I'll put it right here. And it has this cool hum. There are currently 3 anomalies in the game. I'm not going to explain everything about them, but some of them, like the gravity one, for example, is pretty dangerous in terms of the fact that it emits radiation damage, and you have to be creative with how you're going to keep people safe and keep yourself safe. The electric one, however, this one, shocks people in a nearby radius, and the radius grows and the damage increases the more dangerous it gets. Well, how do we even know what's its danger level is? Well, you take your Anomaly Scanner, which this station comes with 2, on round start, and you just simply take it in your hand and left click the anomaly. Okay. This anomaly is at 14% severity. The current state is stable and is generating 10 points. Well, it says it's generating points. It actually will not generate points until you bring...
have been detected on collision course with the station.
This game's joking. But you take your scanner and come to one of these, the Anomaly Vessels, and you can build more. And you just left click it, and it will assign, your scanner will assign the anomaly to the vessel. You can't do multiple vessels, so only worry about one. But I believe this is a bug. It actually isn't generating points. And in order to fix that, you just re-click the server like so, and you'll see it's actually generating 14 points a second, which isn't great. How do we make this anomaly do anything? Well, there's these things called A.P.Es. And they are basically just emitters that have different particles that they shoot around. So you need a wrench to unanchor them, and you just drag them around like any other object by control clicking. And you need it to face the anomaly itself. And then you wrench it back in place. And make sure it has power, which it does, which you do just by shift clicking. And if you look on the left, there's 3 types. There's danger, unstable, and containment types, and those are delta, epsilon, and zeta respectively. So if I want to increase this just the severity, we could shoot it with a delta particle, and I'll do it right now just to show you. So you just left click to turn it on, it'll shoot it once, takes a second. Notice how the severity has gone up. And if you go over here, the points actually did not increase, but it will if you keep going. And the fact that the current state is stable means that when the next pulse hits, the severity will not go up. And this is a fairly safe anomaly right now. It doesn't pulse very often, so it's not much of a danger to anyone. It's still a minor inconvenience, but science thankfully comes with stuff for this. Like you have radiation suits, you have fire suits if it's one of the hot ones. And for electric one, you just kind of have to deal with it. But either way, the damage is low, med bay is not too far away, and even then, science, you could probably just make your own meds after you research enough. But here, the pulse is about to go off. Let's watch what happens. I was shocked for a very short duration due to the fact that it's a low severity anomaly. And it knocks it out of your hand, so you don't have to rescan it every time. You can just press Z with the scanner in your hand. Notice how the severity did not go up, but the points is also the same. So let's up the ante a little bit. So if we shoot it with an unstable particle, which is an epsilon particle, it might take a few shots. We want the current anomaly state to go from stable to growing. And one shot wasn't good enough. There we go. It is growing. So we could turn it off. Notice that the approximate point output has grown. It went from 17 to 21. So now, when the next pulse hits, the severity will go up. And you could do this in increments. This video isn't going to explain the best ways to grow anomalies or the best way to farm points. I'm not going to explain all this meta stuff. Science is more fun if you figure it out yourself. I'm simply explaining the systems as easy as possible. It has gone off once again. I am not that harmed because it is, once again, not very severe yet. Well, let's re-examine it. Ooh, it is grown to 25%, and the points is well over 30 now, at 31, not well over. But, as you can see, it keeps growing and growing because the game is telling us that's growing. I will caution you, and I have already bug reported this because it apparently is not intended. Do not keep shooting it with unstable types. You will basically make the anomaly grow infinitely, and you won't be able to stabilize it. And the game doesn't give you any indication of this right now. Just keep in mind, the system is brand new. It's going to be changed. It is going to be fixed. There is going to be improvements. It's going to be expanded. That's just how this all works. So if you wait another 20 seconds, it will grow again. And you can keep doing this. You don't have to shoot with danger types. You don't have to force the severity higher. You could take it slow. But time is money, and points is money as science. Money is the cargo as scientific points is the science. You're going to go insane, and you're going to want to get more points per minute. So I'm shocked once again. Grab this again. There we go. We're up to 40 now at 33%. And you can just keep this going and going until you're either uncomfortable with it or comfortable with it. Anyway, let's shoot with some more delta particles, just to throw the severity way up in the ceiling. We want those points. And for better, just watch the points per second, because that gives you an accurate. Every shot is so far giving us 3 points, maybe even more in the next shot. Nope, still 3. But this gives you a direct correlation of risk-reward. And keep in mind, since its severity is increasing, the pulses are going to get more dangerous, and they can become lethal pretty quickly. So I'm going to stop shooting it, because I don't want to overload it. As you can imagine, since it's a percentage, 100 is the end. And it's going to hurt. Notice I'm stunned for longer, and my health bar is decreased faster. Or by a larger degree. So we are up to 83 points now. This artifact is still growing at 67%. Well, what if we want to not grow it anymore? What if we just want to farm points in a fairly safe area? Well, you look at the containment type. The containment type is zeta particles. So we're just going to shoot it a few times until we watch the growing turn into stable. Well, it did it in one shot. And we're still earning a very respectable 64 points a second. So this artifact will stay at 67% forever for now. But it will keep pulsing the dangerous electrical currents every time. And as you can see, even though the next pulse happened, it is still 67%, our point value is still the same. And this artifact is actually generating quite a lot of points, and it's really not all that dangerous. But what if you want to get rid of it? Well, you just make sure that you have the containment type on, which is still zeta particles. It's like, say, because since this can spawn anywhere, it could be in a really shitty spot. Like, it could be in the bar and just, like, killing patrons. And some scientists will probably still argue that that's fine and should stay there. But you just keep shooting it and shooting it and shooting it until it will eventually disappear. Decaying and gone. To be honest, the game doesn't really ever stay in decaying for long. Like, you basically have no time to really react to it. I don't know if it's just a matter of it doesn't update fast enough or quite what yet. But like I said, in development, will probably be changed. This video will probably be slightly out of date in the next few hours. But this is to get, even with the changes, this will still get you into the game. And now you have to wait for a whole nother anomaly or make your own. And you can see all the points we got back down to 0. And now you can research some things. And it is that simple. Not really much else to add. Like I said, not going to explain all the anomalies. I'm not going to show you the best ways to do it. It's up to you to figure it out. Be a scientist, go and learn. And that is all for now. I will answer any more specific questions. But as always, I encourage you to try to figure out as much as you can and then come to these guides. And I didn't mention before, but don't let the severity hit 100%. things can get pretty crazy when the severity of an anomaly hits 100%.